here has dreams? Big dreams. I'm talking Steve Jobs, Bill Gates level. Yeah, go ahead, raise your hands. Awesome, great. We have many great dreamers here today. Well, if you're here expecting a quick fix to help skyrocket you to success within the next 10 minutes, well, I have some great news for you because you are at the wrong TED Talk. Because today, I am here to champion the often overlooked, yet incredibly powerful path of taking things slow. Because true success isn't built in a day, but through sustained efforts and persistence over time. And I found a strategy that really helps with this, microadventures. And I want you to remember this word. A few months ago at school, my English teacher had us do an activity. We were prompted to write down our most ideal lives. And what fascinated me was that everyone in the class, myself included, wrote down our most ideal future lives. No one even considered writing down our most ideal current lives. And this just pointed out to me how obsessed we are as a generation about our future goals and our future ambitions. I go to a pretty competitive school myself, where everyone has these huge dreams and aspirations. And one thing I hear often is people complaining about feeling discouraged or frustrated that they're not seeing the results of their efforts come to light fast enough. We live in a world of instant gratification where we want everything now and we want it fast. Yet life doesn't always work that way. And achieving goals requires time, patience, and persistence. Earlier I mentioned the word microadventures, but what exactly are microadventures? Well, microadventures are about splitting up a task into smaller, manageable pieces, and it encourages you to stop fixating on the big picture and find joy in small, bite-sized adventures. Now, you can think of microadventures as mini training sessions for resilience. Just like how lifting weights builds muscle, facing small challenges increases your ability to bounce back from setbacks. Each microadventure is like adding another weight to the barbell. At first, it might seem insignificant, but over time, these small victories accumulate, boosting your morale and fueling your determination to tackle even bigger goals. For example, let's say your goal is to run a marathon. You wouldn't start at 26 miles immediately, would you? You would start at 1 mile, and then 2 miles, and then 3 miles, and then gradually progress. Each small run is a microadventure in itself, training your body and your mind to handle the full marathon eventually. You know, I find it interesting, as humans, we readily accept the concept of starting out slow and gradually building up when it comes to physical activities like weight training and running marathons, yet we often overlook applying the same principle to other areas of our lives. Just like achieving any fitness goal requires gradual conditioning, reaching any dream and any goal needs incremental progress. Similarly, microadventures are about patience. Now, I remember when I was younger, I used to go on these bug hunting expeditions with my dad. Well, actually, it was more like I just tagged along because I'm deathly afraid of bugs. You know, I know this sounds stupid, but when I was younger, I thought that the ants would start rebelling against the humans and like start shooting missiles and nuclear weapons at us. But that's a different story for another day. But even though I hated these trips, I learned something important about reaching goals. You have to take it slowly and patiently. My dad's goal during these trips was obviously to catch bugs, and he never rushed it. He would approach his prey carefully, slowly, step by step, until he finally reached his target. Dragonflies in particular are extremely hard to catch. They're like little helicopters on steroids, just buzzing around at the slightest touch. Yet they were the species that my dad caught the most. I never really understood his approach when I was younger. You know, why can't you just like quickly sneak up and pounce on it? Yet, when I would try that strategy, I would just scare the bugs away, making success even harder to reach. Microadventures also encourage us to find excitement and joy in everyday experiences. When you're engaging in microadventures, whether that's exploring a new hiking trail, trying a new recipe, or learning a new skill, you're training your brain to enjoy everyday, mundane, ordinary experiences. And instead of waiting for big achievements to feel fulfilled, you can find enjoyment in the process itself. For example, As an ambitious youth myself, I have a dream of becoming a successful filmmaker. Yet the process to achieving this goal has often felt too long and my progress too slow. I often find myself feeling discouraged and frustrated and overwhelmed. Just recently, I stumbled across this short film on YouTube that had garnered widespread recognition. And as I watched it, instead of feeling inspired, I found myself dissecting every scene, every camera angle, every decision made by the director. It wasn't just admiration. It was self-doubt creeping in. Oh, I can never pull something like this, I thought. It's an unnerving feeling, realizing that despite my passion and my drive, there's still mountains of skills to climb and miles of experience to gain. Yet, here's where microadventures come to play. Because instead of letting that overwhelmingness take over and destroy my dream, I started approaching it through smaller, manageable projects that gradually build my skill and experience over time. For example, I started making Instagram reels for my school chronicle. And don't get me wrong, these projects are far from being blockbuster films or Hollywood movies, but they allowed me to practice my filming, editing, and storytelling skills on a much smaller scale. I also started my own YouTube channel, although to be honest, it's been quite inactive for a while. But the channel provided me a platform for me to practice my video making skills. From animations to short films to vlogs, every video is a microadventure in itself. And it provided me a steady stream of small victories that helped me keep motivated throughout my journey to my grander goal. And on that note, microadventures can also help individuals like myself who struggle with procrastination. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I'm a lazy person. I do not like to work. You know, I have these grand goals, yet just the thought of putting in the effort required makes me feel tired and unmotivated. And I'm sure that this is a feeling that many of us here can relate to. We set these grand, lofty goals, visions of greatness that excite us, yet as we face the enormity of the task ahead, doubt starts to creep in. And suddenly these goals, these dreams suddenly start to become daunting and even impossible. So instead of facing the challenge head on, we retreat into the safety of the familiar. We push our dreams to the back burner, hoping that one day we'll find the motivation to tackle it. Yet the longer we wait, the more intimidating these dreams become until eventually they just fade into the background. What microadventures do is that it breaks down the workload so that we can gradually break away the barriers of procrastination. Every small microadventure is a building block towards your greater goal. And by doing this, you'll find that achieving your goal becomes less impossible and more enjoyable. Like I mentioned before, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, so I see reaching any goal as similar to making a film. Just like how I can't jump straight into the filming process without proper preparation, like a script, set, props, and actors. Achieving any goal, any dream, requires careful planning and step-by-step progress. Without this, you'll find that sometimes our goal may seem overwhelming and success may seem out of reach. Now, you might be thinking, well, Chelsea, microadventures sound great and all, right? That's what you're all thinking, right? Yet, where do I even begin with this? Now, to all of you who raise your hands at the very beginning, all of you with big dreams, I have a small challenge that can help kickstart you towards your journey to success. And I call it the 30-day microadventure challenge. And I know it sounds hard, that's why it's called a challenge, but bear with me. I want you to think of a goal, any goal.
Wait, give us more time.
Oh, sorry. All right. Do you guys all have a goal in mind? All right, awesome. Now I want you to break it up into 30 small tasks, one for each day. And you can repeat this process as many times as you need until you finally reach your goal. And you'll find that by approaching your dreams with this methodical mindset, even the most intimidating tasks become possible when tackled one small step at a time. And guess what? I'm not just throwing out this challenge to you guys and walking away. I will be taking on this challenge alongside you guys. Because let's face it, we're all learning as we go. So let's find joy in the journey. Together we'll realize the importance of taking things slow when reaching big goals. So, are you ready to join me on this adventure? Together, let's make our dreams a reality, one microadventure at a time. Thank you.